my lovely readers and queers, welcome back to my channel. I am Franny, and today I would like to do a little bit of a reading update to see how my reading is going this year. We're going to take a look together at the first quarter of this year, so January, February and March. I have some prompts, some categories, some numbers that I would like to keep monitored in check. You know, just some things that I would like to look at throughout the year. Of course, you can let me know in the comments your answers to the things that I'm going to go over together with you in this video. So without further ado, let's get started. For starters, how many books I've read so far this year? By the end of March, I had read 17 books out of the 84 that I said I would like to read in 2024. I am slightly behind, not too much. I don't feel bad about this number quite yet. I think I'm still in time to catch up and go at a reasonable pace throughout the year. It could go better, that's for sure. You could always do better, you know, but I am quite satisfied for now to see how things are at this time, you know? Talking about format, and this is very interesting, I have read so far 5 ebooks, 1 physical book and 11 audiobooks, which is great. Yes, I would like to use my Kobo more. Yes, I would like to get to more physical books that I actually own, but I do like that high number of audiobooks because you guys know that I love listening to audiobooks. I just love when you find the perfect narrator for the perfect story and the whole listening experience is just something else. I love that. I'm happy. We shall see how the rest of the year goes, but so far I am really happy with these numbers. Also, with my average rating, because my average rating so far out of the 17 books that I read in 2024 is 4.2. An average rating of 4.2 stars. I don't think it has ever happened to me to have such a high rating early on in the year or even generally. As I've said in my March wrap-up, I am really happy about how my reading year is going in terms of enjoyment. I'm really picking up books that I am loving. If they're not, you know, 5 stars, best books of the year, they're still, you know, the right story to read at the right time. And the last overall data that I think is interesting to look at is the genre. So far, I have read mostly contemporary and mystery, which is good. I love reading contemporary and I wanted to read more mystery books this year, so I am doing that and I'm very happy. But I would love to read, weirdly enough, more graphic novels. I love reading graphic novels and I've realized I don't think I've read any this year, perhaps 1, but that's it. I want to read more graphic novels, I want to read more fantasy books, and I want to try and read more nonfiction books because I have a few nonfiction titles that are on my mind and that I would like to get to this year, and I haven't gotten around to any of them yet, so that is something that I would like to work on in the next few upcoming months. And now let's look at some books more specifically. What is the best book that I've read each month? So for the month of January, the best book that I read was, without a doubt, Gwen and Art Are Not in Love by Lex Croucher. I really loved that book. It is a YA queer retelling of the Arthurian legend and it was so much fun to read, so many good quotes, so well written. I loved it. I really did. The best book that I read in February was a romance book, a sapphic romance written by Dana Hawkins, and I'm talking about Not in the Plan. This is the first novel, the first installment in the Single in Seattle series, and I've already read the second one. It was quite good. I didn't like it as much as this one though, because this one was so good, so sweet, so romantic. I was surprised by how well written it was and how well developed and layered the characters were, considering that this is Dana Hawkins' debut. I was really impressed and I cannot wait to read more books written by her. As for the best book that I read in March, it should come as no surprise. I have talked about it at at length in my March wrap-up, and this is not just a favorite book of a specific month, you know, this is a new favorite book of all time. This is going straight to my top 10 of 2024 because it was just that good and it changed my life as a reader. And that book is Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead by Emily Austen. This is a contemporary novel, literary fiction, I want to say, about a lesbian woman who has mental health issues. She is an atheist and she finds herself being the new receptionist slash secretary at a Catholic church. And it is irreverent, it is so well written, it is so dark yet optimistic, and oh my goodness, I love this book so much. Next category is best new releases that I have read. So these are books that came out in 2024, in the first 3 months of 2024, that I have read, and so for me they were great new releases of this year. And I have two to mention in this category. The first one being Not in the Plane by Dana Hawkins. I read this in February. It came out at the end of January, so it is a 2024 new release. And the other title is Here We Go Again by Alison Cochrane. I have read this in March because I had an e-arc of the book, but it actually came out on April 2nd. But since I read it in March, I am going to count it in this video. This is Alison Cochrane's new release. It is another sapphic romance and it involves a road trip, and it was so sweet, so much fun, so sad. It had everything really. It was such a great book. Absolutely recommend. Next category is new releases that I haven't read yet. So these are books, again, they came out in 2024 that are on my radar, on my list of books that I would like to get to, but I haven't yet, and they've already come out. And one title that I would like to mention is Cascade Failure. This book, first of all, gorgeous cover, and second of all, it's giving me Becky Chambers vibes. It should be about found family and explorers in space. It involves spaceships and stuff like that. I don't really know, but it's really calling out to me. I think I'm going to love it, so I will try to get around to it very soon. Biggest surprises. So a big surprise for me was for sure Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting by Claire Pulley. This is about a bunch of strangers that commute at the same time, take the same train to go to work, school, and whatever. And because of a near-death experience, one day they accidentally talk to each other for the first time, and they basically end up becoming friends and, you know, getting in each other's business. And it was so good, so much fun. Again, so sweet, such a great sense of community and friendship and wanting to help other people. And I was so impressed. I was not expecting it to love it as much as I did. I was not expecting to find a lesbian main character and to have queer elements in the story. The biggest flop, however, was The Verifiers by Jen Peck. Again, I've talked at length about this book in my March wrap-up, so you can go and watch that if you're interested. This is about a sort of amateur detective that decides to investigate what it's supposed to be a suicide, and it involves the dating world, and you know, it just had a lot of potential and the premise was there, but the execution was absolutely terrible. To me, it sucked, and if you want to know more, you can go watch my March wrap-up. Cover awards! This is an exciting category. I want to shout out what I think were the best covers of the books that I've read in the first 3 months of the year. The first one is Her Own Happiness by appiah-kubi. I just love this cover. I love the colors, I love the boldness, I love the fat positivity, I love just everything. You know, the composition, the colors, it just works. I love appiah-kubi's covers. Her books always have great covers. I was not disappointed by this one at all. And the other cover that I just adored because it was so cute and it worked for the book, you know, for the story that you were reading about, was Iona Iverson's Rules for Commuting. Actually, this book has multiple covers. You have this one and you have this one, but this one is for sure my favorite. I think it just works. It captures the vibe of the book and it is cute and it has great colors and I just love it. So I think it deserves an award. My second to last category is underrated books that I would like to shout out. These are books that I read in the first quarter of the year and I do not think that enough people have read them or even heard anything about them, and that needs to change, and that's why I'm here with this category. The first one that I have to shout out and that I've mentioned several times throughout this video is Not in the Plan by Dana Hawkins. This is Dana Hawkins' debut, so it's fair, it's understandable that it is not as well known, but I mean, if you like to read sapphic romances, you cannot miss out on this one. It's on the same level, if not better, than other very popular, more known sapphic romances out there. I don't want to name names right now, but this one deserves its spotlight for sure, and more readers need to get to know Dana Hawkins and get to know Not in the Plan and get to know Charlie and Mac and just fall in love with this romance story. Next book to shout out is again a book that I've mentioned previously in this video, and that is Her Own Happiness by appiah-kubi. I think she's a great Black author of contemporary novels that have elements of romance. I love her books because they're not too heavy. Her stories kind of remind me of With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. That's the only one that I've read by Elizabeth Acevedo, so I cannot compare her to Elizabeth Acevedo as an author. But With the Fire on High was a YA story that really captured me and captivated me because it was dealing with a lot. The main character in the story was dealing with a lot, and yet the whole book was lighthearted. It didn't make your heart sag under the heaviness of what the character was going through. And I think that appiah-kubi's books do the exact same thing. You know, they tackle some hard topics and very sensitive social issues of our time, but they do so in a very lighthearted and, you know, optimistic, inspiring way, and I love that about her as an author and about her books. And the last book that I want to shout out is Murder Crossed Her Mind by Stephen Spotswood. This is the fourth installment in a mystery murder series that it is set in the 1940s in New York. The first one is Fortune Favors the Dead. This is such an incredible queer mystery series, and I honestly do not know why I don't see it anywhere and everywhere. I do not know why not everyone is talking about this series and shouting it out. I don't understand. That needs to change. This is such a great series. It has so many twists. It has great characters. The murder mysteries themselves are so well built and they develop in such a great way throughout the books. And the historical aspect is on point. The writing style is great. The whole story is engaging. Like, I don't know why this series is not more famous than what it is. It is a crime, okay? And the last thing that I would like to look at with you is an update on my 24 books to read in 2024 reading challenge. Because at the beginning of 2024, I set up myself to fail. I compiled a list of 24 books to read in 2024. If you're curious to know what books are on that list, and if you haven't watched it yet, I will leave linked in the description down below the video in which I talk about them. But let's just say that it's 24 books that I'm supposed to read this year. And so far, I've only read one book out of the 24, and it was Her Own Happiness by appiah-kubi. This book was on that list and I did not remember that it was on that list. When I sat down to look at this specific thing for this video, I was afraid. I was scared that it was going to be 0 out of 24. I was ready to feel so bad that perhaps I wouldn't have filmed this video because I was feeling so shitty. But it turns out that I have read one book, one out of 24, as if that makes much of a difference, right? Between 0 and 1 out of 24, you know? That gives me hope that even without knowing it, you know, without doing it consciously, I actually reached out for a book that was on the list that I was supposed to reach out for, and I wasn't aware of it, but I did it anyway. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but it makes me feel good. That my subconscious is better than my actual consciousness. Anyways. Hi there, Franny from the future. Please excuse the bags under my eyes and my overall state, but I forgot to do this when I filmed this video, and so I must do it now, and beggars can be choosers, right? I just got out of work, I'm sitting in the car, and I want to get this done. Something else that I wanted to do for each of my quarterly reading updates is to shout out some booktubers that I discovered in the months that I'm covering in that specific reading update. I know that booktube has its issues, I know that it has its problems, nobody's denying that, neither am I, but I do love booktube. I watch a lot of booktube videos, I listen to a lot of booktube videos in the background while I'm doing other things, and I love it, you know, that's why I'm here. This is my way of giving back to the community, hopefully, you know, get to know other booktubers, make friends, you know, do those things that we're here for. These are some very lovely people that I recommend you go and check out. They are in no particular order. I'm just gonna go as they come up in my mind because I'm in my car filming on my phone. I have nothing that I'm reading from, so I hope I get their channels names right. If I don't, I will have them written on the screen. You will have them in the description. You can find them, okay? I will make them findable. Is that a word? I'm not sure. I'm tired. Kat reads a lot. She has the sweetest, most relaxing voice, and I just love to watch her videos and listen to her videos because they bring me so much calm and peace. Like, I feel better and lighter whenever I watch her videos, and I love how she's doing her wrap-ups now with a pros and cons list. I think it really works. Erin Reads is another booktuber that I found, and I think they started very recently. I just love their vibe, you know, there's something about their videos that just works for me. I love the aesthetic, I love their humor, I love their queer recommendations. I just love everything about them, honestly. Then there's Tia Chu. She's a bit of a bigger booktuber out of the ones that I'm shouting out in this video, but I love her. I'm obsessed. She has such a big smile, and all her videos are just charged with good energy and positivity, and I love her book recommendations. And she's also queer, which is always a plus, you know, for the booktubers that I look out for, and her videos never fail to put me in the best of moods. And the last one that I have to shout out is actually a booktuber that I already knew. She had another channel, then she stopped making videos for the longest time, and my heart was crushed because she was so good. Jesus, she was so good at talking about books, and she still is. So I'm so happy that she's back, and she's Hannah over at Hello Bookworm. She's incredible. I love her editing. I love her quality in terms of videos, in terms of content, in terms of the way she just talks about book in such a fascinating and literate, elegant way. She's so good, she's so talented, and she deserves thousands and thousands of followers, and I don't know why she doesn't have them, but you know, the internet is weird like that. But let's make up for that and go subscribe to her channel right now. This was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of the books that I've talked about, and I would just love if you would answer to my prompts and categories and everything else in the comments, just so that we can talk about how your reading year is going, because I'm curious to know and I would love to know. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you very soon with my next one, and until then, have a good one, take care, and keep reading queer books. Bye! Warm hugs!